Mardu tokens, Mardu Arcanist, Mardu Pyromancer, and Goth Pyromancer, whatever you want to call it here. We've got a couple of K commands added here from the latest anthology because it's just a Mardu colored deck that has creatures in it that you don't mind picking back up. And I'm honestly not sure that K command is necessary in this deck. Outside of Sedgemoor Witch, Silverquill Command is a card that picks up most of our threats, and Silverquill Command has really impressive closing power, being able to give something 3/3 and flying, especially Dreadhorde Arcanist, where you like flash it back right away, is powerful and potent. So in general, I think this deck is very reasonable, but I'm not sure if K command actually adds value or not to the archetype. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it plays out and how K command feels in some different spots today. I don't want to just write it off without trying it, but I also wouldn't be surprised if after we play some games it doesn't feel good. Well, so like, to critique your thing there, Cran Powder, avoid anecdotes. So it's a bit slow, isn't anecdotal, but like, it's weak against control from what I've seen. Rather than saying, I've seen it be weak against control and focus on an anecdote, be descriptive and explain to me why you think it's bad against control from a theory perspective. This deck doesn't seem good against control, and these are reasons XYZ why I think that's the case. I'm gonna get rid of their Stone Rain here. Like, to give an example, this deck doesn't seem like it's very good at the Reanimator deck we just played doesn't seem like it's as good against control as the other builds that we played because it lacks a good threat like shifting Ceratops in order to play in those matchups. That's a specific thing to call out that describes the problem that doesn't look like it's able to be solved. When you don't have significant sample sizes, which we generally don't in Magic, you want to focus on that. This is my problem. This is me trying to find a solution for that problem. Well, I think we've died, chat. Speaking of problems, Claim the Firstborn, not particularly exciting here. I guess I'm not dead on board, and we can technically claim this and edict them with this next turn. Red, white, midrange, probably, SJ. I think is the best, like, just straight midrange deck in the format. Couldn't we have done that last turn? Oh, this makes mana. Yeah, good call. Wow, that would have been much better. Yeah, good catch. Good catch. I'd be +5 life right now. It'd be much better. Yeah.
It's my turn.
Alright, so Claim doesn't seem very good. Thoughtseize and discard spells don't seem good. Want some more cards that play to the board. Angrath might be okay here. Maybe leave it in a couple of Inquisitions. They didn't have that many green cards in their deck. Maybe they have some bigger green ones. They did have a Planeswalker. This could maybe be okay. Bring in an Angrath, a Noxious Grasp, and a Fracture. I think the threats is the key thing I would focus on when it comes to describing why it's good or not. Because, for example, the deck has a bunch of Thoughtseizes and discard spells, so, like, that's probably not even probably, it is the best interaction you can have in those matchups. I'm waiting to play Pyromancer till 3 here, so that way we can punk a Bone Crusher Giant with Village Rites. Got him. Hey, Hedon, thanks for the entire year. Welcome back. Well, shit. Kaya can trade for this, but not before it hits us and draws a card. Yeah, it's gonna be too far behind here. Oh, also, James, I think something I saw on your stream, you have an on-screen overlay for chat too. If you go into your Streamlabs settings, you can disable it so the commands and the bots don't show up in your on-screen overlay. Okay, I noticed that when I was watching your stream the other day. Your bots were showing up in the corner. Hey, buckle up, chat. It's gonna be, well, maybe you don't need to buckle up. Settle down. It's gonna be a grind. It's in wherever you got your widget from. So if you're using Streamlabs for your chat widget, it's in there. If you're using Stream Elements or something else, they probably have a similar setting. Hey, thanks for the Prime, One Love. Welcome back. I guess we'll Thoughtseize now. Our deck grinds an okay amount. The people saying they're ready to be ground out here. I think the green-black Magecraft deck is kind of mediocre against just guy control, which is the reason why I have it in the fan favorite section as opposed to a higher category. This deck's okay against, okay in this matchup though. It's like 67, I mean 68. The old Game 1 rest in peace, a sure sign of a healthy Magic format. It's funny, one of the things we did last time we played this deck was adding an extra land. It was nice of them to give me a target for Claim the Firstborn.
I shall miss your company.
I mean, to be fair, Claim the Firstborn's not super popular anymore. The 23 months guy, welcome back. Cling to Dust, being textless feels bad, man. Hey, Wigan, thanks for the 25 bucks. Yeah, this is where Expressive Iteration just shows up and buries us in the ground, right? This card's just so good. This honestly might be the best card from the most recent set. But a multi-format all-star.
If it's a fight you want, then a fight I've been waiting for this.
Alright, I'm just not playing around another sweeper at this point. I mean, it's a sum of its parts, Eridanz. It's not just any one thing. Iteration, Helix, Lapse, it gains just so many good new things. Alright, kill me. 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, they can still cast the sweeper. Survey says. One castable spell, please. Fling's not a castable spell, it doesn't have legal targets. That is a castable spell. Should be pretty lethal here, right? I don't think this matchup is bad for this deck. This deck is in the high potential category on my website for a reason. I think this deck slugs through this matchup okay. It doesn't feel good because playing against Jeskai control never feels good. It's a deck that's miserable to play against, but I don't think this deck is necessarily bad here. Hey, Kurgifer, thanks for the 34 months. Welcome back. All right, so Claim the Firstborn comes out here. Cling to Dust comes out against the Rest in Peace deck. How's this versus Chad turns? I don't understand. Those decks aren't really comparable. Can you elaborate on your comparison? Frenzy, thanks for brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to the channel. What else do we want to get rid of here? I feel like K-Command's probably not very good if they're attacking our graveyard. Maybe we trim like an Arcanist, just try and minimize the number of things we have that play out of the yard. Maybe trim a couple of Helix. Having Helix to like finish off a Planeswalker is fine, but I'm also like bringing in these to do a similar role. Yeah, I like this card a lot. It's super powerful. Now, I think we want to leave in some Arcanists, because, like, they're not always going to have Rest in Peace in play, and sometimes we can kill it, too. Like, we're bringing in 4 ways to kill it. It could honestly be worth bringing in a Kaya here, because if they're going to be Rest in Peacing, it turns her ultimate into a way that's just lethal a lot of the time. Maybe we do that. Let's bring in one Kaya. Has Phoenix worked its back into high potential? I'm pretty sure Phoenix is in the proven category on my site. I mean, you can go look yourself. I'm just gonna do what you can do and open the webpage. Oh, did I not? Where did I put it? I update that. Damn it, Patch Jeff. Alright, I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix that now. This is fine. Not good, but fine. I think Phoenix is one of the better decks in this format in a post-tainted pact world. It's put up a number of results. Asking about play experience / fun factor of the deck. I don't think the red-white Chad's deck is particularly stellar. I think it's kind of quirky and unique. But in terms of raw power level, it's not particularly high. So, while we don't rebalance cards in Magic, the Pact banning basically was like them rebalancing that deck. And something that you see very commonly in other card games where they can rebalance stuff is you'll see people stop playing a deck when it gets nerfed, even though that deck isn't really that much worse. And I think that's I think Tainted Pack post-ban is better than its current play rate implies that it is, if that makes sense. I mean, like, you should just say that then, Midnights. If you saw it in the category you don't think it belongs in, say, Jeff, do you think... Yeah, your question was phrased poorly. Your question implied that you hadn't actually looked at the information I put out. How does it work with no Oracle? You can go on my website and click the high potential section. It works with Jace. You can see my current packed list that's up there. Great resource for finding stuff. I think I'm just like bring back Lightscribe, draw a card here. Vindicate, Judy. I'm a simple man. Oh, I should have done this pre-combat, because if I hit the discard spell, I would have attacked for one more. Small mistake here. The moose is loose, chat. My favorite deck in Modern. I haven't played Modern in months, so I don't have one. I believe in you, little pest. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. He's all alone in this time of need. Do I offer up my pest chat, or do we hold this for when they interact? We think we hold that for now. Yeah, sweet, rewarded. So now we can play this. Then we can Village Rites this when they go to Baffling End it. Nice, nice. Oh, I could have hit the baffling end in a response if I was going to do that. I guess I didn't know what I was drawing though, right?
When you can walk through walls, anything.
This game's a good example of one of the reasons why I like this archetype over something like Red-Black Arcanist a little bit better, because we're far less soft to rest in peace than Red-Black Arcanist is. Like two out of 2 games, you just like played through rest in peace. This deck might actually be up there for one of my favorites in the current format. I like it a lot. Astro Smasher, have a training sword, prepare to defend the realm. Name I haven't heard in a long time, Chip. I would say I feel bad about this, but I'm doing it to a Goblins player, so that would be a lie. I don't feel bad at all. What are they playing? White 4? Sideboard cards like Redain? I ain't scared, opponent. Can't put fear in my dojo. Pretty good one. Hey, Agent Pumpkin. Thanks for Prime. There's a lot of great people you can send that to every single month. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Alright, we're done here. If you're someone new in chat, and you haven't seen this deck before, this is one of the many sweet historic decks that you're missing out on by not checking out the over 24 historic decks I've got up on my website. You'll find current deck lists there, descriptions of how they function, and videos on most pages of the decks being played. Loudmouth mute. Alright, welcome. To our new subs, you should make sure to pop into the subscriber Discord server and maybe think about playing in the Hoglandia Open that we're going to be having tomorrow morning. All right, so Vanishing Verse, couple of shocks. Good luck with your games, James. All right, so Cling to Dust out here. Inquisition actually might be a card we want to keep in. It takes things like Goblin Matron that we care about. Definitely an all Doomblades on deck matchup. Need 2 more cuts here. Maybe it is just Inquisition. Thoughtseize is definitely the better discard spell because we're going to take things like Krenko and Muxus. Yeah, definitely Pumpkin. Historic is my personal favorite format to play, largely because it's accessible on Arena. Standards, and I wouldn't say Standards a poorly balanced format at the moment, but it's just kind of dry. It's been the same thing for a while. Firstborn is basically a removal spell, especially against their Script Prospector deck. I think I'd rather cut Inquisition than Claim. Ideally, I just want as many cards as possible that play to the board. Claim to Dust is a super strong card. So Silverquill Command is valuable in a matchup like this because it allows us to push damage because of its ability to give flying. I think Silverquill Command's kind of a sacred cow in this deck. You basically never cut it. Yeah, Standard feels like it's been the same since Eldraine released. It's its big problem. No discard spell here probably means we're dead. Just gonna have a fast linear Goblins draw here. This is like Matron fishing up Muxus. Maybe I do want the Inquisitions in my deck. Maybe these Culligan's commands are too slow. I can see that being the case. Ha! That's adorable. Ooh, that's a good draw. And then Lightscribe lets this flash this back. So if their Muxus bricks next turn, we can have a real shot here. If their Muxus bricks and we draw a castable spell that we can cast alongside this, so as is often the case, it's going to come down to this wheel spin against Goblins. Wow, I was just about to say they hit the Haster but didn't hit Krenko, but they hit fucking Snoop and Krenko's on top of their deck. That's kind of unreal. Wait, are they dead? Did they just kill themselves? I think they're dead, right? We jump block here. Right, if we draw a castable spell, they should be dead here. The spell that casts alongside this. Damn it. Are they still dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Are we 3 points short? Ugh, that's such a tilter. We're so close, chat. Right? So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because I have to go shock this, make you discard. This can only get this up to 2 attack. 6 are wild cards from Historic. Is it Phoenix? How do you feel about it? I think Phoenix is objectively one of the best decks in the format at the moment, Fishlamp. I actually just put it to the proven section on the site. Really close game there, considering their Muxus was pretty decent. Alright, game 3 on the play. I think I'd rather have Inquisition than K Command, seeing how that game played out. I think is accurate. Run it back. Thanks for the follow, Falco. Welcome to the channel this morning. Is the Moth just Wrath Protection? Yeah, it also lets them re-trigger their Enters play effects. When I'm playing a 300 card deck? No. I have a 60 card Goblin deck. Yeah, Jumpstart's coming back next week, Jeff. For people that missed that announcement. I don't really think for this to flash back, but I might draw one. If we draw an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize next turn, this card ends up being great. I think we just do this into this. Best draw on the deck there, I think. There's a chance we want 3 of this card. It's so good. It letting Dreadhorde flashback 2 mana spells is super strong. I'm gonna be honest, Young PZ. I don't really have a good, from a theory standpoint, why things changed and Phoenix got better. Maybe it's the aspect of things got better because its resilient threats are good against Jeskai control. But you're right that I was pretty whelmed by Phoenix last time I played it. The Lightscribe turns are just like not real life in this deck. They're so crazy. Do I Thoughtseize or do I think we just Thoughtseize again, right? Are they dead? They're dead, right? They just like go block and take 15. Crunch, crunch, crunch. People figuring out the details of Phoenix X better too could be true. Is Lightscribe win more, or is it enough to push it over the edge? I mean, like, was Lightscribe win more that game? We had basically exactly lethal. So, I am playing Lightscribe because, in my experience, it has not been win more. It is a card that lets us pivot quickly and win races we otherwise would lose by a significant amount. Feel free to articulate yourself in chat as to why you think it would be win more. Don't have a currently tuned Phoenix deck to share? Yeah, go to jeffhoagland.com, click Historic Decks, open the Proven section, and you will find a blue-red Phoenix deck contained within. Yikes! Shock myself, Thoughtseize, see a handful of burn spells. I think this deck is very good. We've played this deck 3 or 4 times on stream now, and it's been great every time. Lingering Souls, acceptable card in this draw. I don't think so anymore. I think if you would have asked me that question before Faithless Looting was legal, I would have said yes. I think it's probably too good with Faithless Looting. There's a chance that is wrong, not correct, but my gut says it's probably too good. Let me Pikachu. Thanks for the 15 months. Welcome back. This game is probably going to be decided by the fact that we mulled to 5 and then did 6 damage to ourselves. Like, imagine if we were at 21 right now instead of 15. We shocked, Thoughtseized. we're interested at this point. Get the post-board game where you get to cut our crappy cards that aren't great. Some more cards that play the board. Honestly, K-Command's probably just bad again here, right? Like, it's just kind of slow and clunky. Hey, let me Pikachu. Thanks for the 15 months. Welcome back. This video, you played 3 Knight of the A-Bound Legions. I got hit by a Legion's Edge. Yeah, it was a rough one. Dragon, thanks for the follow. Yeah, we have to play Kaya and Angrath as our Planeswalker card advantage out of the sideboard because we can't play things like Chandra Torch of Defiance because of the Wellspring. And the Companion's been consistently very good in this deck. Yeah, so far K-Command has not seemed good. It is a while, Dwight. Thank you for the 5 years. Welcome to the small but ever-growing club of folks that have jester hats of their own here in Oaklandia. What's a keepable hand, chat? I guess this is. I guess. Maybe. Probably not. Take your threat, I guess. Our hand's not particularly strong here. Can give us some time to, okay. It's nice. Hopefully they draw a creature. It's honestly probably one of the better draws in our deck here. Wow. Sunscorched Desert, Ramanap Runes, and Faceless Haven all in the same deck. Some people's greed knows no bounds, chat. I should wait to play the land there, because if I draw a tapped land, I'd want to play tapped land so I could moose next turn. Yeah, I definitely should have waited to play the land out. I don't really need to hold up Helix this turn. Yeah, punished. And I know they have this Wizard's Lightning face up here, but like, if they want to kill my Arcanist instead of my face, that's a win for me, I think. Dead Jim, you got him. This works out okay. We can Helix this and they can't sack it. We can play Moose next turn. Yeah, it plays a bit different than that old build. It's a little bit less linear, Fish Lamp. It leans on interactive elements to keep itself alive in the early game. It's more aggressive starts usually involve Sprite Dragon more than a bunch of Phoenixes. No, you cannot buy Jumpstart packs. You have to either craft them for wild cards, which you can always do, or you have to buy to play the event. I believe our client has disconnected here again. The server's been having a lot of connection issues today. Or not? It's actually a great draw. Oh, I think maybe they're just missing that they have priority because of the Soul Guide Lantern. That's probably what happened there. Or they had a connection issue. I'm sure the connection issues are happening on all sides. Wow, Glorybringer. A really interesting red build today. Like, Playing cards this expensive alongside Light Up the Stage is, their deck's very greedy in a number of ways, chat. They have a lot of cards that don't activate this along with Baseless Haven. They have 5 mana spells with Light Up the Stage. Mono red just inherently greedy? No, not at all. In fact, typical red aggressive decks are some of the more trim archetypes you'll generally find in Magic. They tend to be very low to the ground. So, Helix plus Shock killed the Glorybringer, but I unfortunately can't play Sedgemoor Witch out before I do that, which kind of sucks. But I gotta kill the dragon, right? Oh, Elk makes mana. Oh, it totally does. Oh, it totally does. Hidden mode activate, chat. Look at the competitive advantage that is Twitch, chat. Chat, this is an 8 mana 5/5 with no text, chat. I didn't know this card could do things. I'm not a Magic player. I'm a Magic player. I can't read. Savor the flavor, chat. Look at that. Look at that moose. Look at it go. Thank you, Twitch chat, for the competitive advantage that you provide. I wonder if they're going to draw a card with this Lantern. Again, like, the graveyard hate people bring in against this deck really doesn't feel that bad, because, like, our deck isn't super graveyard dependent. This is pretty good. It lets their direct damage shrink the moose. How about this Silverquill Command card, chat? What do we think of that one? Is it pretty good? There might be something to this Silverquill Command. This is why it's so important to play games with things, right? And get a feel for it. Because if you would have told me like last year that like Silverquill Command was going to be better than, if you would have told me that Silverquill Command was going to be better than Kolaghan's Command in a deck like this, I'd have called you a liar. But like that's definitely the case, right? Like this card has been like, I don't even think I want to play this card, if I'm being honest. I think we're probably gonna cut it. I'm gonna play one more match with it, but it's just like felt bad every time. And again, talking about that, going back to the don't lean on the graveyard if you can avoid it. This card, in order to generate card advantage, needs the graveyard, whereas like this can draw a card and make them sacrifice without the graveyard. Fuzzy Jello, thank you for the 22 months. And Cedrus, thanks for the entire year. I'm happy with how we sideboarded. I'll go ahead and run it back. Run it back now, y'all. Yeah, I can see maybe that fits in the third Lightscribe. It could also be a fourth Witch, which is pretty good too. I don't necessarily need more Lightscribes. It's a fun deck to run with. I have a whole bunch of decks, Agent Pumpkin, that you can find up on my website. I have them sorted by power level, and you can search based on archetype, so you can kind of fine-tune exactly what you're looking to do and say. Are you saying K-Command's been rough in this deck, or all decks? K-Command felt good in Grixis Control when we played it yesterday. But in general, I don't think K-Command is the powerhouse in this format that we frequently saw it be in other formats. All right, let's try and catch them with their hand in the cookie jar here, huh? Let's take their draw 2. Huh. Do I even want to do this yet? I think I want to wait on this until I can build a board. Village Rites. Got me. When does Kaya commit again? Well, she's in my hand right now. I guess I'm confused by your question. Big Kaya, the control matchup and the mid-range matchup. Alright, do we just like Kaya as a distraction now? What if we like Kaya, Dagger, the Soulscar Mage? I could also like Young Pyromancer, Claim the Firstborn, one of these to generate a token. That doesn't seem super exciting. I think I want to save the Claim in case we draw Village Rites. It could be right to play Blood Crypt here and plan to have this be a spell as well.
I had guild business to attend to anyway.
You can find my preferred Phoenix build up on my site, Fishlamp. Okay, so I think we peasy Helix this. I definitely should have played Blood Crypt last turn. This should have been a spell. I'm gonna just do this now while they can't punk us out. They're gonna shock this in response, obviously, but this still dies. I get my token. And then Moose gets to stone wall the Bone Crusher Giant here. Until we draw Village Rites. Yeah, definitely should have been a spell. I'm fine trading this for this plus a burn spell. Yeah, deal. Hey, that one's a spell chip. And again, exactly what we talked about, right? They have Graveyard Hate in play. Okay, that's fine. You sacrifice a creature, I'll draw a card. Still get a 2-for-1 out of my Silverquill Command. And then this insulates us against a Glorybringer, which is probably their best top deck in this situation. So I think that likely puts us into garbage time. Because even if they peel answers to my threats here, I have Castle to generate more threats. Culligan's Command could kill the Cage, sure. In this particular instance, against this specific piece of Graveyard Hate, you could kill it. In my experience playing this format, Cage is less popular and prominent than other pieces of Graveyard Hate, like Rest in Peace. Yeah, and Soul Guide Lantern. Yes, buddy. White's near, no, in the storage room.
Where is Zero in the storage room?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hold on, Chip. Where are you at? Grace is averted. Jacob was right behind you, so it's okay. But you are never allowed to come in my office when I'm not in here and the stream is on, okay? Need to make sure they understand that one. It is against the terms of service for a child to be on stream without a parent. Alright, is that lethal? So if I Pyromancer, and then I claim the Pyromancer, and I vanish the Sky Raider, that should be lethal, right, with the Scribe? I believe this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. God, the Lightscribe is just so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's against the terms of service on Twitch because they don't want children streaming on their own unaccompanied. I think you need to be 13. It's been a while since I've looked at the exact age. I think it's 13 to stream unaccompanied on Twitch. Might be older than that too, though. If you're not familiar, go look it up yourself. And it's relevant to you. You want a third Lightscribe? Maybe. Our deck sees a lot of cards. Like, I feel... So, like... When you're ready for Lightscribe to kill them, it's really good, but when you're not ready for Lightscribe to kill them, it's just like only okay, right? I feel like my gut instinct for what I want to do here is cut these and like play a Cling and a Sedgemoor Witch. No, we're not done with this deck. I'm just making a couple of changes. Not doing a wrap up yet. I'll play one or two more. And Cling is a very good magic card. It could also just be like another discard spell. A third Inquisition could be okay. Discard spells make Dreadhorde Arcanist better. There's a good chance that's a spell. Lamery, thanks for the follow. Especially with the texture of our hand here, I think we lead on. Arcanist, hoping to get the Helix on that. Our hand isn't particularly exciting against control here. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Alright, I think we do still lead on Arcanist here, because this way, if they kill Arcanist, we can go Pyromancer Thoughtseize next turn, and if they don't kill Arcanist, we can Thoughtseize into Flashback Thoughtseize. Which has appeal. Dr. P. Rizzle in the house. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. I've been memory lapsed, chat. Oh, no. Our opponent took the bait, chat. They took the bait. Ha! We got him. We got him. Good bit. We just, like, take the brainstorm here, right? It's like, all of your card selection is gone. Thanks. Bink. Bink. Bing bonk, bing bonk. All right, we haven't drawn any more lands, so I think this is could have been a spell if we draw a 6th land, but I think for now we just do this. All right, are we beating a Wrath of God? think the answer is no. I'm gonna attack around Shark here because it's only 1 point of damage. Wrath of God. God, the fucking untapped land too. That's such a tilter. The sweeper and the land to stop the Silverquill from being able to do the thing. Super unfortunate. Oh, Thoughtseize. Oh, Thoughtseize. One more brick, champ. One more brick. Okay, they're dead. Goodbye, friend. Hey, this deck's got a super reasonable Jeskai matchup. You got a really, really solid plan here overall. I guess so. They're not playing a companion. Do I assume they're on Gearhulks and keep the Clings? I guess I'm bringing in Kaya that fights on that Axis too. Do I want this Noxious Grass? Noxious Grass kills Teferi. Having an extra card to kill Teferi seems important. Feels like a tough matchup to leverage Lightscribe. Do you keep it because it's right? Yeah, not only is it a threat, but it's like a threat they have to respect. Look, no numbers. If they don't kill Lightscribe, you can just like punk them out of nowhere. And there's going to be a lot of situations where like you have like Pyromancer and 2 tokens. And the Pyromancer and the 2 tokens are going to let you like kill them with Lightscribe out of nowhere. Oh, I don't have Duress in my deck yet. Durf. Yeah, Duress should definitely be in my deck. Need one more trim here. It is just Lightscribe out. Kind of low on threats though. 14. It's Kaya. I'm gonna trim the Kaya. If we see Torrential Gearhulk, we'll reassess my sideboarding in terms of Kaya and Clings. Hey, tour guide, thanks for the 5 months. Welcome back. So, your discard spells in this matchup want to prioritize getting rid of their pieces of card advantage. We're looking to take their Narsets, their Tefris, their Sweepers. Those are the droids we're coming for. You got it. You want to try and stop them from 2-for-1ing you so you can 2-for-1 them and win on that access. It's one of the reasons why, one of the conclusions we came to last time we played this deck was I wanted 4 ways to kill a Teferi from full loyalty. So we have 2 Fractures, a Noxious Grasp, and you have 2 Fractures, a Noxious Grasp, and a 5-mana Kaya that'll kill a 5-mana Teferi, because 5-mana Teferi is their best source of card advantage. Having ways to do that is ideal. Afternoon burger. honestly, if they pass back to us and leaving this Witch in play, we're probably just gonna like Silverquill Command +3/+3, draw a card.
There are so many mysteries to uncover. Hone your prowess.
They have a Aether Gust in their hand, which makes, Aether Gust in hand makes drawing the Moose a lot less compelling.
My mind needs a rest.
It's no longer revealed because they had, I guess they might have impulse past it, but. The Aether Gust. Yep. We're gonna top that. Fracture is really good in this matchup. Like I said, Teferi and Resolve Shark Typhoon are just like their best cards against us. So having solid answers to those things is good. Alright, we're playing without a graveyard this game. I don't know that I want a 3/3 Dino. Okay, I think I want to save these for their important cards. Like I said, long term, we want to fight over their card advantage. And Fracture is a way to make sure their card advantage doesn't happen. Castle is super sweet with Village Rites here too. This has been a sweet addition to the deck so far today. It's our first time playing with this. We concluded at the end of the last session that we wanted another land, so we added this as a utility land. Nice. It's possible we want 2 of these, honestly. It's been real good. Okay, so earlier we binned a Doomscar, so they could obviously be playing multiple Foretell cards, but good chance this is a Doomscar. I think we're just hanging tight on the castle for now. We're gonna make them sweep just the castle tokens, then we'll deploy some other stuff. How many rats have we seen so far? 3 plus a Doomscar, yeah. Board in a castle. I think I'd rather just start at main if I was gonna play it, Seth. I really don't like boarding lands in decks like this. I think it's too cute. Alright, so now that I have Noxious Grasp, I'm probably gonna Fracture a little more aggressively. It's annoying. We'll drop.
Here, no fire.
No steel. No fire, no steel. Get him, Angrath! Chain him up! He's so good, chat. Listen, there are 2 Angraths in the sideboard for a reason. He's the planeswalker we want, okay? All right, let's do this first.
No fire.
Make sure there's no Shark Typhoon lurking. All right, let's find out if this is a counter spell. Doesn't look like it. Goodbye, friend. Goodbye, friend. This deck is just a delight every time we play it. Delight. I mean, I think we've run a little bit good and played well in these matchups against Jeskai. I don't know that the Jeskai matchup's like 100% like you might think from these games that we've played, but you're definitely not a dog to it, which is nice. Drink some Gatorade and feel better, Wee McGee. My second one was rough. I took 2 days off for a reason when it happened. Oh. Yeah. I didn't have a fever, but it was like exactly like when I get a cold. I had like felt like I had a really bad chest cold. Like I had a ton of pain in my shoulders, and the upper part of my chest was tight. Could be Arcanist, could be Rogues. Okay, looks like Arcanist. This is the part where, like, they know we have Claim and Village Rites, so it's like, do they want to blink? I assume this just dies if we play it, so I'm just gonna go ahead and draw the Wellspring here. Nice licking. Oh, are we about to get claimed? No, interesting. Okay, so oh god. Oh gosh. So now I get to do this, and then I get to claim this, flash it back. They might have a Village Rites of their own here. They might have a Village Rites of their own here, and they're gonna Rites in response. Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay, so now do I Dreadhorde and then claim my Dreadhorde to Inquisition them? Just like turn my claim into an Inquisition? Take their Bedevil away? Yeah, claim hits Kroxa, but Kroxa's gonna shred my hand before that's relevant. We might lose to this Kroxa. I do kind of need to draw a cling. Can they draw another discard spell or a removal spell? Because, like, they drew a removal spell. Brutal, they drew Spark Harvest. Fuck. It's a good draw. What's going on, Bob? Soul Guide Lantern versus Cage versus Relic. Do you have advice on when to use one versus the other? There isn't, like, it all depends on, like, what your deck is looking to do, right? So, like, do you care about your graveyard? Probably Soul Guide Lantern. If not, then Relic. I actually don't know that I really like Cage in this format right now. Collected, what's it called? The Jund Company deck doesn't really exist anymore. Which I think makes that card stock go down. So their best draw here is untapped land, so it let them Croxa us twice. And then we're probably just dead. I'm gonna concede if they have a land here. If they don't have a land, we could draw one of our 3 main deck Clings here and have a shot. I don't even think Cage is good against Green White Company. If I have Cage in my deck, I don't board it in against decks like Green White Company. It's not good there. Like boarding in a card that doesn't impact the board to brick exactly 4 cards in their deck, you're gonna have a lot of games where you draw it, it just doesn't do anything. They just like kill you anyways. Like if you get really lucky, it's fine. Yeah, if we draw exactly Cling here, we could be okay, but outside of that, I think we're dead. This Crox is gonna bury us. Alright, it's a redraw. Do I have any outs in my main deck? Even to the conclusion that Klothys is too slow post HA5. Klothys should not be played as graveyard hate. Klothys should be played because you want a card that like incidentally impacts the graveyard and also kills control. I've always viewed Klothys as more of an anti-control card than a graveyard tool. I usually don't. When you see it in a sideboard in one of my decks, it's not there as an explicitly anti-graveyard card. I don't think it's actually ever been fast enough as an anti-graveyard card. It's like fine in conjunction with other things, but it's mostly there as like a sulfuric vortex that's hard to interact with. Yeah, Klothys is good against decks that, like, incidentally get value out of their graveyard. It's not good against, like, dedicated graveyard decks that are, like, dumping a ton in. We do have Chains back again. It's a wonderful, wonderful welcome back. Kaya, Angrath. These are ways to answer Croxa. We board out all of our discard spells here. Shock is probably fine. I like cutting Grazer, but main deck Relic's fine. Vanishing Verse does Pyro and Arcanist. Is that good enough? Is that better than anything I'm currently playing? Like I'm looking at my deck list here, and I don't really feel like Vanishing Verse is better than any of the cards I currently have in front of me. Like maybe it's better than Shock, but Shock killing Luris seems pretty important. Shock is kind of narrow. No, they always have Luris, chat. It's their companion. And they have Pyromancer. Yeah, exactly that, Butters. The Gruul deck I recommend has a couple of main deck Klothys, but the graveyard aspect of it is a bonus. It's not the explicit intention of the card. Yes, Shock also goes to the Dome in a pinch. For people that are new to the channel and haven't heard me talk about it before, I always favor boarding out my discard spells against other decks that play discard spells, because you'll see the game come down to that spot like we were into that last game quite frequently, where my opponent and I are both top decking, and you want as many cards in that situation as possible to be cards that play to the board as opposed to picking apart their hand. Inquisition and Thoughtseize feel very good in these matchups on turns 1 and 2. However, the games in these matchups tend to last till turn, 13 and 14 a lot of the time, and drawing a discard spell when their hand is empty feels atrocious. I think Silverquill Command is kind of just better than Atarka's Command with Arcanist, Shadow Lord. Have a Fatal Push here. Even if we draw another brick this turn, Cling is pretty far from a brick. I get to do this. Want to make sure we put... Oh, I should have put Sacred Foundry into play there so I have my extra white rolled up. I honestly could be right to just gain life here, so that way I can't draw a 3-mana spell for them to discard. Feels... Could have been right to just exile my witch. Of course, getting a card out of my graveyard doesn't feel good either. So... It's impossible to know there's a Kaya on top of my deck, right? I could have very easily drawn another 5-mana spell or a land and then just bricked off their Inquisition there. Nico Bolas is a more important part of the Grixis deck than Angrath is in this deck. Angrath is very good, but he's also just like a sideboard card, whereas Nico Bolas is a core main feature of that deck. I think we just gotta kill their Pyromancer here.
Ever seen water?
Got Village Rites here. Yeah, Kaya is easily the most punishing draw there with the Cling, because it's like a card we really wanted to have. See if they have a haste threat or a shock here to kill Angrath, or if we can get some card advantage out of him. Our hand is really bad here. We really kind of need Angrath to survive. That's great for us. That's great.
No fire, no steel.
So they can recast Pyromancer from the bin with Loris. Did not have enough cards to escape the Cling to Dust here, so I played the tap land. We could see them escape Kroxa, which hammers our life total a little bit, but it also has the castle to block it, and then eventually Angrath kills it, so it's not the end of the world. His little hammer animation is definitely a treat. Untap, not show HA5 cards. It does. We're not playing any HA5 cards in our deck anymore. We cut the copies of Kolaghan's Command. Alright, one Claim the Firstborn, please. Gross. And they have a Fatal Push here, too? Wait, I guess if they have Fatal Push, then they're not. They're discarding their Loris?
Fire, no steel.
Could be Village Rites. Wow, and they discarded Luris. Is it crazy to flashback Cling with Arcanist here and draw a card? It gets rid of their fame. I think they have Fatal Push. I'm pretty sure they have Fatal Push. What? Must be Village Rites then, right? They bolted with this and they didn't Fatal Push. There's Spark Harvest. Really? Okay. I think we're dead now, right? I think we're dead now. You looked into Flesh and Blood TCG at all? What's the best way to put it? All paper TCGs are a scam, and I've already been scammed once and don't need to be scammed again. Loot. I don't need another loot box game in my life. Like, I've got this impressive wall of board games here behind me. And, like, any individual one of these board games is, like, cheaper than most paper card games and, like, will provide more gameplay and joy and a balanced experience for me. Yeah, like, and there's no digital client, too, so, like, even if I liked the game, I'd be restricted to playing it in paper, which means I wouldn't get to play all that often, which is kind of sad. Unless, even Gloomhaven, like, people talk about, like, oh, that board game is expensive. It's like, no, that board game is one Magic card. That board game is 1/4 of an Underground Sea. That board game is one Scalding Tarn. Chaotic, thanks for the follow. Yeah, the Digimon TCG actually looks very good. The Digimon TCG looks very good. I just don't want to touch a game that doesn't have a digital client. It is out. It's hard to get English copies of the cards, though. Like, Cool Stuff Inc.'s been sold out on all of them for a while. Yeah, Dice Throne is great. That's my recommendation for people. If you want a casual TCG-like experience for a card battler to, like, play with your group of friends, Dice Throne is wonderful. I love that one. We play that one with the kids and friends somewhat consistently. All right, anywho, speaking of this TCG, speaking of the scam we currently have in front of us, you can find my other board game recommendations here. I don't think this Mardu deck's a scam. I think this deck's probably not great against Red-Black Arcanist because Croxa's kind of tough, but I also don't know that I really want to. I don't think I'd change this deck to make us better against Croxa. The Red-Black Arcanist deck has a really hard time with Jeskai control in my experience, especially if the Jeskai player's playing Rest in Peace. So I think, like, our deck is good against Jeskai, and, you know, not every deck can have a good matchup against everything. I know we just lost 0-2, but, like, you're not 0% in that matchup if our answers line up a little bit better, or our opponent's discard spells come at different times. We would have been fine there. K-Command. My big takeaway from this set was K-Command did not feel worthwhile. Castle Ardenvale was excellent. I liked that a lot. I think getting up to the 4th Sedgemoor Witch and the 3rd Cling to Dust both seem very reasonable. Silverquill Command continues to overperform and be fantastic in this deck. Super happy with 4 copies of that. So, yeah. My boy Angrath served up a heaping helping of fire and steel to people, so that was great. So, I'm going to update the list on the site after I'm done streaming today to be what this deck is here in front of us, I think.